Oh my goodness. I actually made it to the final 11. I'm so nervous. Um, it's just been so crazy. So to take it a little bit backwards as usual, Lana got through the hell out of here when my team won the murder mystery. And I was kind of irritated at how it happened. Like with the whole vote, I did tell Lana, right after she got eliminated, I messaged her and I said, there will be blood. Like, and what I meant was like, if I had a chance to repay somebody for what they did, I was definitely gonna take it. And it wasn't necessarily, the thing was, I'm pretty certain Lana was probably gonna target me soon. Like, I'm glad that she left, but it was just like the way it happened was so outrageous and ridiculous. Like it, a fucking double idol that Peyton got from fucking returning to the game. It was just like so eye rolly. I just was like, whatever. If I have a chance to really screw him over, I would. The problem was I suspected that Peyton had an idol. Um, Not just me. Me means I guess Robbie, Maddie. We all suspected that Peyton had an idol because the fact that he was just like when he idled Lana out, he was pretty much like, "Oh, well, Robbie, this doesn't change like how I feel about you and things like that." It was very bold. Peyton was very bold about the way he handled the situation, and because of that, I was like, "Okay, this guy definitely has something brewing up his sleeve." So I was just thinking, how the hell am I gonna get Peyton out of here? But in my head, I'm thinking, I've already idled him out once. Maybe I can send him home without an idol this time. I just have to do a little bit of soul searching. Um, with that being said, so um, we get this damn duos challenge, and I am fuming because I'm stuck with Ben, who just lied to like 8 or 9 people, and is going on his apology tour. Not to mention, um, I teach at 8 o'clock in the morning. This is a 36-hour thing. So I know that my team isn't gonna win. I'm gonna give it my all because it seems like a fun challenge, but like I'm pretty certain we're not gonna win. Not to mention Ben is on the West Coast and he works at a point where he has to be on cam and things like that. So it's like he won't be able to take pictures and send videos either. So I was just irritated because I really wished that it seemed like a fun comp, but I really wish that like we would have gotten to pick our own partners or something like that. Because I probably would have asked Robbie or Dulcie or like somebody who just blatantly didn't give a fuck. Preferably Dulcie because the girl, she would have stayed up the entire time. And like the early points that I got, I think that we would have worked really well together. So no, and as fate would have it, Duke, Peyton, Maddie, and Robbie all in immunity. And I'm like, four of the biggest targets in the game all have immunity. This is not good. I'm so scared at this point. I am shaking in my boots. Um, so strategically speaking, my strategy is to kiss ass and continue to play the woe is me card. Um, and by woe is me, I'm just telling people that I think I'm gonna be a target so that like, and I think it's a bad strategy. I think people are getting annoyed by it. I'm self-aware, so I think people are getting annoyed by it. But it's just like I just tell people I think I'm gonna be a target because I think for me that's my way of projecting that I probably should be a target. And people are always like, I haven't heard your name or stuff, and I'm like, okay, great, then I don't care. So, 6 names get thrown out. It's memes, Ben, Steph, JG, um, 2 other fucking people. I don't know. It's just too many to count. I don't understand how that many names were thrown out. Memes, JG, Steph, Ben. I don't even know who all went to elimination this point. I don't even know who's all in the game still. Devin's still left.
Everyone went to elimination. Devin, Stephanie, Rocky, Memes.
Yeah,
I think who else wasn't safe. JG, Dulcie.
I know.
Um,
I didn't hear her name. I didn't. Okay, so everybody. I think it's easier to say this. Everybody but me, Mark, Dulcie, and Rocky were on that chopping block to go home. Um, as far as like names getting thrown out, and as time dwindled, it got down to memes at one point, but like Duke wouldn't do memes, so all the votes for memes flipped onto JG. And then the opposing vote was going to be for Steph. So, um, something else that happened in the challenge that I thought was really weird. So Ben wasn't posting a lot in that comp. He did not get us practically. He got us 5 points, so I'm appreciative of those 5 points. But like he wasn't really posting. He was messaging in there, but he wasn't doing any of the tasks. So then this one particular task says like basically be the first person to post a GIF if you want a GIF, if you want a power. He posted so fucking fast. I was like, is Ben really trying to get me to the immunity trail, or like is he trying to throw it so I can be on the chopping block? What's going? I'm just not processing. I'm not understanding. But like he posted that GIF so fast. Obviously, he's around his computer and he's watching these things go by. That so like I thought that was really weird. Yeah, that was just like a little sidetrack. But then, so we're at the idea where it's Stephanie versus JG. And Maddie pretty much calls me Robbie and Rocky, and he's just like, "What are we doing? What are we doing?" Like Maddie just having a meltdown, and I'm like, "Girl, calm down. We can do Stephanie. I don't give a fuck." And then Robbie's like, "Yeah, Steph said that there's Jabbar, Rocky, me, Devin, and somebody else. They're all playing being like they're all in the middle and they're playing it perfectly, and those are the people we need to target. Now, Robbie Robbie be doing too much sometimes, but I do kind of believe that that's something that Stephanie would say, and I'll get to that reason in a second. So then, like, I'm like, okay, I'll do Steph, but are the numbers there? Because JG didn't want to do Steph. Like, it's just a lot of people did not want to do Steph, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. So then I called Benji. Devin wanted to do Steph. So Devin wanted to do Steph, plus the four of us wanted to do Steph. JG heard that the other side was doing him, so he didn't really have a choice but to do Steph. So I called fucking Benji's ass, and he's just like, yeah, Steph yelled at me. She was very rude to me and things like that. So I kind of want her to go home because I can't deal with somebody who's gonna like treat me like shit. He was selling a whole sob story about the whole situation, and I'm like, girl, are you voting for Steph or not? What? Come on now. And he told me that he was voting for Steph, and I'm like, okay. At this point, it seems like Steph is going. And then Dulcie, the other side thought that Dulcie was voting for Jinchi. Turns out, Dulcie was very in the air, and Dulcie was very in the air, and she was like, she thinks that the majority is doing Steph, so she's probably going to do Steph. Um, So we get to this vote, and Peyton plays this damn fourth wall power that he got in the competition. And basically, it reveals everyone's vote. And like, we go into alphabetical order, which I thought was a bad idea. I just thought that everybody should vote first, and then, like, Peyton's able to play the power, and everybody's vote is locked. So you can really see who the rats are. But no.
we did
Um,
it totem pole style.
oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's fair. So Ben has this whole meltdown that is alphabetical order because he has to go first, and we're just like, "Girl, what's wrong with you? Like, just cast the fucking vote. You said that you were gonna vote Steph, right? What's the problem? I'm not understanding." So Ben throws this whole fit, and he doesn't even have to go first. So then, pretty much everybody say what they're going to do. with the exception of Ben, of course, he decides that he wants to vote for memes. He completely throws his vote so that he's the tied to either side, and memes returns the favor by voting for him. I'm like, okay, y'all are getting really annoying really fast, but whatever. Steph goes and Steph throws this whole kit and caboodle right at my head. She's like, Jabbar's playing the same fucking way that he played in season 4, and y'all need to keep vote him out before you vote Robbie out. And I'm like, what? No. I'm like, I expected it. Like, that's why I couldn't do anything but just not. Like, yeah, I got her again. I really, and I feel so bad because I like Steph. But like hearing her, like, and that goes back to what I was saying earlier. Hearing her say that, like, I was playing the middle perfectly and I'm doing the same thing that I did, which I don't think that I'm playing the same game. I don't really think that I'm playing the same game. I think I'm playing a similar game, but I don't think that it's the exact same. Um, so Steph goes out and she's basically telling like her people that they have to come for me, and I'm just like, well, now it's time to really show these people what I'm working with. So we go into this challenge and it's before after. And I'm like, I'm not the best at endurance, like I'm not the best at speed, but something that I can do is a fucking mental comp. And now it's time to show these people what I'm really working with. So we get to that before and after, and as fate will have it, I win. And I get to set up the teams. And like as I'm setting up the teams, like I know that it's a live night and I only have about 2 or 3 minutes to actually get this going. But like I'm somebody who needs to write it out so that I can understand it. And as I'm doing it, Kim's like, why don't you put the 6 people you want on the same team and leave the rest like for the other team? And I'm like, no. Uh, that's where a lot of people mess up. I'm not here to play that fucking game. Because I know that if I'm the only person making a team, I'm not making just one team. I'm making both. Because even if I pick 6 people that I want on the first team, that still leaves 6 people for the other team. So no, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna take my fucking time to think about both of these teams, so I can make sure that there's somebody I want to go home on both of them. And that's exactly what I did. So, um, you know, I put Rocky, Duke, Means, Mark, um, Dulcie, and Devin on one team, and Kim, Peyton, Maddie, Bobby, Benji, and JG on the other. Um, and this is where the game kind of gets a little bit catty for me because uh, I knew that I was going to target Peyton on the second team. I didn't necessarily see, like, I saw who I was putting on the first team, but I really didn't see a true target until I looked at the list a little bit, like, after they actually started competing. Because after I made the teams, we found out that it's a double and someone from both teams are going home. And at that point, like, I'm like, okay, let me stop and let me think about somebody who I would be okay with leaving from the first team. And the name that stood out is Devin. Um, and the reason why it was Devin was for a few reasons. Devin was really crafty. Devin was from season 2, and even though season 2 weren't necessarily like all on the same page about everything, they were very well insulated in the game. They weren't targeting each other or anything like that. So like I do believe that if season 2 had survived live night, they probably would have came together, use the fact that me, Ravi, Means, and Maddie needed to be broken up to like pick a few of us off, and they would have gained majority. And I wasn't with that. So the reason why Devin had to go was because I firmly believe that out of everybody from season 2, Devin was playing the best game. And why not cut a deal with Duke and Mark to send him home? Um, so Dulcie and Maddie win immunity. No shocker. Dulcie has won 5 competitions at this point, and Maddie wins something every live night. So it's like, what the fuck is going on here? So, um, the Duke's troop, which is the team with Duke on it, has to go first, and I only have 10 minutes. So in this 10 minutes, I'm like, you know what? Let me just try and send Devin home real quick. So I talked to Mark, I talked to Memes, I talked to Duke, and I'm like, do y'all want to just vote Devin here? And they're like, yeah, man, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm lying to Devin talking about let's vote Duke. I tell Dulcie and Rocky, hey, let's do Devin. And Rocky is very hesitant. He's like, Duke needs to go. Duke needs to go right now. I want Duke out. I want Duke out. And I'm just like, so can we do Devin or like? And as the vote gets close, Rocky's like, yeah, I just decided to do Duke. And I'm like, okay, I think that some power is going to be played on Duke because he felt like he's on the bottom on this team. He was like, yeah, possibly. And then, of course, as fate would have it again, Duke whips out another idol and protects himself. And Devin goes home, which Duke looks like he doesn't trust me or he looks like a clown because I literally told him he was safe. And of course, he would play his fucking idol. It's so annoying.
I don't hear you anymore.
Okay. What
Now,
about now?
yeah, I heard you say of course Duke played something. He's safe, and now he looks kind of shady, and then you stopped.
Oh yeah, because I literally told him he was safe. Like that was another thing. I told Thosi, I told Duke, and I told Robbie out individually. Like I don't want to do a winners alliance, but I'm not targeting the winners because they're gonna target the winners for us. I don't need to waste my time targeting the winners. It's gonna make the rest of us get hit up on that chopping block really fast. So, I just felt like he didn't believe me. But it did do me a favor because even though I knew I wanted to target Peyton, a split second had happened where I had contemplated targeting Ben because I just flat out don't trust his ass at all or anything that he says. So I had thought about targeting Ben. But when Duke played the idol, he made a comment saying, you know, I'm sorry, Peyton, or sorry, buddy, or something like that, implying that like Peyton has something to do with that idol too. And at that point, I'm like, no, nope. They 100% need to be split up because they are much more dangerous together. Um, yeah. And Peyton went home. And at that point, my position in the game is kind of like winning that. I basically had a hand in sending all three of those people to the jury. So obviously, I can't go to the jury right behind them. And I definitely feel like people now understand why I'm a winner after that live night. If they didn't understand before, but I've made it 30 days in this All Star season without receiving a vote, so I think that speaks volumes within itself. With that being said, I do want to highlight some important conversations. Um, Devin, even though I targeted Devin, I should have highlighted Devin a while ago. Devin really was a breath of fresh air in this game. I had so much fun talking to him and things like that. I really hope he understands once this is all over that it was just a strategic decision. Um, Devin, Devin, Devin. I also want to highlight my conversation with um, Maddie. I really am enjoying Maddie in this game. And even Mark. Mark's If Mark is playing me, then he's doing a good job. But if he is playing me, I might be able to catch on. But for now, I really enjoy like I'm highlighting not necessarily strategic conversations. I'm just enjoying highlighting the people who like really are a breath of fresh air to talk to. Um, with that being said, we get to this new challenge and Dulcie wins. And she stacks the teams up so that Memes and Robbie are on the team with Rocky, Kim, and Mark. And at that point, they want us to throw the comp. And this really puts me in a rock between a rock and a hard place because I think that they're telling me that I will be safe if we lose, but with all the powers and all of the game changing things that happen in this game, you never know. Like, why the hell? I don't know. It's very weird. Like, why the hell do I have to risk myself? I just feel like, and it's not memes in particular, but it's just the whole situation. Because, like, I can never speak bad about memes, but it's like, I've already given an idol to Robbie, an idol that I would have loved to have right now, being a winner and being potentially on the chopping block. I literally won the last star comp, and I targeted somebody in particular, being Peyton, who I knew was coming after us based off of other conversations that people were telling me about. And I voted out Alex. I basically put myself on a big platform to be targeted. So it's like how much, and now you um, expect me to throw, like I've already given so much of myself to other people, even though those things have benefited me as well. But like, it's like, how much of myself do you want me to give? Because I guarantee, like, if I throw this and I get voted out, then what? So I don't know. It's just something that I need to think about, but I'm not.
Lost you again.
I'm not sold on throwing it just yet. But like, that was the end of my confessional.
Okay, good. I was gonna run you back a little bit first. I haven't got to talk to you since you did give the idol to Robbie. Can you talk me through your logic of why that decision was made and why it came to you for you to pass to Robbie?
Okay, so I'll answer the second part first. It
Okay.
came to me to be the one to pass it to Robbie because I already had it. So like the idol was in my possession, so it was my decision to make. Like the memes could ask me like, to give it to him, but if I don't decide to give it to him, then there's nothing really that memes could do because I still have the idol. However, the reason why there were two main reasons why I decided to make that decision. One, um, I told memes that like I would do everything in my power to get him to the jury. Like the first part of my game, like I was playing for myself. Don't ever get it twisted. But like I wasn't gonna do anything that made memes like feel uncomfortable per se. So you know, boom, memes was the one who wanted Peyton the hell out of here. Um, in the form of giving Robbie the idol. And I did that because that's what memes wanted. That's not if what I wanted was to keep the fucking idols for myself. I wasn't even gonna give it back to memes. I was just gonna keep it. But, I told myself, help memes get to the jury. I got her. And that was the first thing. The second thing was that Stephanie had told me that it was Peyton who brought my name up at the live night, the first live night to go home. And for me personally, it was the same thing with voting out Alex. It's nothing personal, but like if I feel like my name is coming out of your mouth or like I'm in contention to go home and I find out about that, I'm gonna try and send you home and I'm gonna try and do whatever the hell I need to do to send you home. And if that means giving Robbie a second idol play at that time, it's kind of like whatever. It it's for the greater good. And to be honest, I think that if there was no buyback, I think that it would have worked out tremendously well for me moving forward. Honestly.
And then you were having a conversation tonight with Duke. Can you kind of fill me in on your angle there and what kind of your next steps or thoughts are on it?
Oh, through a message, our
Yes.
message. Okay, so my conversation with Duke was I was on call with Maddie, and Maddie had told me that Ben was messaging him about a conversation that Ben and Mark was having, and saying that there was 4 out of 11 um, people in the game that were winners, and that they need to band together to pick off some of these winners. Now, after the live night yesterday, Mark drunkenly called me, and he did well. Excuse me, I asked him to call me, and he was drunk, and he did make a comment about there being a winners alliance. But he said, "No, I'm just joking. I know that you would never like do that and things like that." So it's like to hear Maddie kind of validate that, um, it really brought it into like, okay, this could really be. this could really be something that these people are afraid of. Now, we weren't in no alliance, but at the end of the day, like, even if we're not, we're still on the chopping block. And my strategy with Duke is I don't know how much Duke does or doesn't trust me. We haven't really voted together that much. But what I can say is like it seems like Duke is a very paranoid person at this game. So if I can make, you know, Duke as paranoid as I am, maybe this all winners thing can work out for us.
So if um, you're saying you don't want to throw it, but if you do end up at elimination, what is your play?
Um, it depends. I want Benji out so bad. I want Benji. I want his head on a chopping block. Um, if we lose, I'm not gonna vote out Maddie, and I'm not gonna vote out Duke. So that leaves JG, who's not even here to defend himself. Um, and Ben, and like, don't get it twisted. I'll vote JG out, even though he's not here to defend himself. I don't care about that. But especially because JG is really coming off as I don't trust him. I'm starting to really, really not trust him at all. Like he's one of those people who are just like seems like he'll just kiss your ass like and tell you what you want to hear just to get another round. And I don't want people around me like that anymore. So between JJ or Benji, either one of them can go. And something else that I realized is like four winners. There's Maddie who's connected to Robbie. There's Memes who's connected to me. Rocky, JG, Benji, Kim, and Mark probably feel like they can't beat us. And if that is how they feel, it's kind of like they don't have a choice but to stick together. And if I'm thinking about that correctly, the rest of us don't have a choice but to stick together. And we have to like knock off at least one or two of them. We cannot let those five, because like once two or three of us go, like they're going to be sitting in the final five. And I know that this season is a final three. That is dangerous.
So what? Well, let me ask my questions I normally ask first. Who do you trust the most right now?
I trust myself the most.
Okay, but you have to name someone else. You may not trust them very much, but who do you trust the most?
Means
Who do you trust the least?
Benji.
Who do you think's in the best position right now to make it to the end?
Well, because it's a final three, I think that Mark's gonna make it to the end.
Okay, and then who do you think poses the most risk to your game at this moment,
Rocky,
and why?
because I like Rocky. That's dangerous. Um, nobody's trying to target Rocky. Rocky's not getting his way, but that's actually working for him because like he's not really a threat. Rocky is the person who makes me fearful that like he can bring those other people together, like those other people that were mentioned a minute or two beforehand. And he's like, and Markey has given me no indication that he wants to take me to the final two or anything. Like he's even had slips saying that, like, you know, these winners and things like that. He's said things like that in our conversation. I'm like, hey, I'm a winner too. Like he's like, oh, but you know, like I'm not talking about you, and I'm like, okay, you're not talking about me yet, but
Or to me? Okay, so then you've said who you think's in the best position, who's threatening the most to get you to the end. What specifically do you need to do to better your chances to be one of those people in the end? What in the next 48 hours or so is going to be your game plan?
I need to have a conversation with Duke and Thosi about Ben and Mark's conversation. Um, I need for these other winners to know that like y'all can't fucking you guys cannot stray away too far from each other just yet. Because once one of us goes, like another one's gonna go and things like that. So I think that the best thing for my game, because at the end of the day, I think that even though I sent those three people to the jury last night, I don't think that I'm the biggest jury threat of a winner. In fact, I think that I have the least chance of winning. The Duke and Robbie have gotten three idols played on them, and Thosi has won five immunity. So it's kind of like, then there's me. So I think that keeping people around me who's just as big of a threat, if not bigger, helps me.
And then to that point, who do you want to see yourself sitting next to in the end if you have the option to choose?
Means and Maddie at this moment. Um, at this very moment, I would say those two, just because they've been like the most like forthcoming, even though Means, you know, talks to everybody. Like not everybody, but like he tells Emily everything. I don't know why he can't, you know, not tell her things. And then Maddie is like,
He doesn't currently tell her things, I hope.
I mean, no, I don't think so. No,
So I distracted you, sorry.
no, you're fine. And then Maddie is like pulling teeth to like get like I had to flat out ask him when it was just he and I on the call, do you have an idol? Because you're just too comfortable. And like he finally came out and said that he was the one with the idol, which I'm not gonna tell anybody about. But it's kind of like it's like pulling teeth with Maddie.
But you want them next to you in the end. Why?
um, because I feel like they've been like the two that's been like the most unapologetically loyal to me so far. And not even the fact that they've been like unapologetically loyal, but it's just like they've been the most loyal with their intentions, like what they've been like doing or trying to do.
Okay, and then I think I know the answer to this question, but if you could send anyone home right now and no one
Benji.
would know it was you, yeah, that's what I thought. But I wanted to ask just to be safe. Okay,
Oh
trying to
wait,
think.
and nobody knew it was me,
Yes.
Rocky.
Okay. And why would it be him?
Um, if nobody knew it was me, like I said, Rocky is the one that like can bring these people together. So like if for some reason Maddie got like convinced to play an idol on memes of Robbie and like they targeted Rocky, I wouldn't be mad.
Okay, I think that's all the questions I've been asking. Any final thoughts?
Yeah. It's really this is really funny because like people are now telling me like, you know, even without the strategy and things like that, we'll be friends outside the game. And just like little comments like that. And I'm like, okay, I get what you're trying to say, but like what's running through my head is like, you know, strategically speaking, you want to vote me out, but you still want to be friends after this, which I will. I'm not gonna hold any grudges once I'm voted out. I know I deserve it. But it's like, okay, that's how you feel. It's gonna work both ways. So if I get the chance to send you home, don't be mad and still talk to me afterwards.
Okay, let me stop recording. Oh, you froze just for a second. Was that your last thought?
Hmm.
Okay.